Before we talk about the solution of how to speak without notes, we got to talk about the problem, what's causing this problem in the first place of people feeling the need to have everything written out in a script or PowerPoint. But you know what? If you're absolutely just dying to find out what the solution is, fast forward or just skip to the next lecture. I am telling it there. But before we do that, I want to delve into the problem before we go to the solution. The problem for most speakers is they feel they need this crutch of the whole written speech or 6 pages of outline notes or bullet point after bullet point on a PowerPoint because they have a fundamental bad idea, fundamentally warped idea of what a speech is. They think the speech is an opportunity to tell some audience everything they know about the subject, and they end up giving a massive data dump. That's not how the brain processes information or remembers information. So because of that, people spend all this time gathering lots of facts, lots of numbers, lots of data points, cramming it into a PowerPoint slide or a written speech. That is not at all how human beings speak. Therefore, the speaker has to have their head down or turning their back to you and looking at the PowerPoint slide. So that's what causes the destruction of eye contact with the audience, is we've gone into this with a fundamentally misguided notion of what a speech, what a presentation is. I'll tell you what a presentation is. It's an opportunity to put a spotlight on a few ideas and get people in an audience to understand the ideas, remember the ideas, to possibly act on them. And when I say a few ideas, I mean a few. I've been coaching CEOs, political leaders, executives all over the world for 30 years. Large groups, small groups, giving speeches on the subject. First thing I ask every audience I work with is, tell me about the best speaker you've seen in the last year or the last 5 years now. Tell me every message point you remember from that speaker. Sometimes people don't remember anything. Sometimes they'll say, well, teacher, I remember this one point, the speaker had passion, and then he went on to really explain every aspect, and they give me the point. Sometimes it's 2, occasionally 3. Every so often, somebody will remember 4 points. And once every 6 months, someone will remember 5 key ideas from the best speaker they've seen in the last year, perhaps the last 10 years. In all the years I've asked that question, I've never had anyone remember more than 5 ideas. And yet, what do 99% of the speakers I see, professional speakers, people in senior jobs in major corporations, what do they do when they come up to practice their speech with me? They have a speech, often a PowerPoint. The first slide, there's 18 bullet points. The next slide, there's 4 columns. The next slide, there is a chart with a graph with 8 different color-coded squiggly lines. And I would say the same thing. Well, Jane, you're telling me the best speaker you've seen in your entire life, you remember 3 points, and now your presentation has roughly 189 points. Do you see the disconnect here? Well, yeah, but TJ, this audience is different, and our corporate culture. Jane, I don't mean any disrespect to you or anyone else here, but I don't care about your corporate culture. The only culture I care about is the culture of your audience, of what actually works. And that's my challenge to you too. Regardless of how you speak, you've got to look at the audience, what they need and what they want, and what actually works for them. I don't have any evidence whatsoever that getting up and presenting fact after fact after fact, bullet point after bullet point after bullet point, number after number, actually works. And by work, I mean the audience hears it, understands it, and remembers it. Now you can doubt me, but that's fine. Test your audience next time. See what they remember. If they can't remember your fact, your bullet point, it didn't work. So before I give you the big solution, we've got to come up with a better structure of our speech. What I have found is the absolute best structure for 99.9% of the speakers out there in the world is brainstorm on all the things you want to say on this topic, narrow it down to 5. Not 5 big themes and 27 subpoints, or even 3 subpoints, but 5 big ideas. And then you need to come up with a story, a case study for each one. If you can't think of a single story or case study to flesh out your major point, must not be too major. Get rid of the point. Abstraction is the enemy of your audience. If you can't flesh out your concept with visuals, with examples, with case studies, with stories involving conversations with real people, your audience is not going to remember it. So that's why it's crucial for you to end up with a simple outline. 5 message points, a story or 2 for each message point. And if there's a number or 2, let's put that number on the outline. Now, if you're like, well, teacher, I have to go through every single number. Are you certain you do? If you're going through quarterly results and people really want to know what every single store sold every week for the last quarter, and you have 2,723 stores in the entire world, give that as a handout in advance of the priest. Email it to people. Have it ready to talk about if someone asks a question, but you do not have to go through all 2,000 plus stores. So that's the next assignment for you right now. I need you to come up with a streamlined outline. So you can either look at a previous speech that you wrote and condense it, or come up with a new one. But I need you to come up with a speech that has 5 message points. And a message point should be 10 words or less. Ideally like 3 or 4 words, something that just gives you a sense of what the topic is. And then an example, a story or 2 or even 3 stories to flesh out that idea. Something that gives you a roadmap for this speech, and then I'll tell you what to do with this. And it doesn't involve a magical earpiece. And as much as I love technology and every kind of iPad and iPhone, it's not going to involve an app or technology or a cell phone. It's not going to involve a teleprompter. I'll show you what it involves in just a moment. But first, I need you to come up with that outline. Do it now.